The stage is dark. A single spotlight reveals a hunched figure, Ozzy Osbourne. Before the myth, there was just a boy from Birmingham destined to become the Prince of Darkness. Ozzy's journey is a saga of chaos, survival, and transformation, more unbelievable than any lyric he ever sang. In 1970, his wail with Black Sabbath signaled a seismic shift in music, channeling the anxieties of a generation. This is the story of John Michael Osborne, a dyslexic kid, a survivor, and a legend who left a bat-shaped mark on music history. Let's dive into the making of a global icon. Born in post-war Birmingham, a city still bearing the scars of conflict, Ozzy's world was factories belching smoke and bomb sites, stark reminders of a recent past, a landscape of grit and resilience. It was a tough place for a kid, especially one like Ozzy, struggling with undiagnosed dyslexia, making school a constant challenge. But amidst the hardship, there was an escape. Music, especially the revolutionary sounds of the Beatles, became his sanctuary, his ambition, a world away from the grim reality surrounding him. It sparked a fire within him, a dream of something more. After a brush with the law and a stint in prison, a harsh lesson learned, Ozzy boldly tattooed Ozzy on his knuckles, a permanent mark, a declaration of identity, a defiant statement to the world that he was here and he mattered. Fueled by this newfound sense of self, he placed an ad in a local paper, Ozzy Zig Needs Gig. That simple ad, a desperate plea for connection, caught the eye of Tony Iommi, a guitarist with a unique sound, and Bill Ward, a drummer with raw power. Soon joined by Geezer Butler, a bassist with a dark, lyrical vision, they formed a band, a collective of misfits. They were eventually called Black Sabbath, a name that would soon resonate with millions, inspired by the chilling imagery of horror films and a shared desire to make music that truly scared people, to tap into the primal fears that lurked in the shadows. Their new sound was heavy, dark, and revolutionary, a sonic assault unlike anything the world had heard before. Black Sabbath didn't just change their name, they were forging a new path. They changed music forever, ushering in a new era of heavy metal that would inspire generations to come. Black Sabbath's debut in 1970 was a sonic revolution, Ozzy's haunting voice at its core. Albums like Paranoid and Master of Reality became anthems for a restless generation. But success brought chaos, addiction, and conflict tore the band apart. By 1979, Ozzy was fired, lost, and convinced his career was over. Yet this was just the beginning. Sharon Arden saw his potential, became his manager, and pushed him back into the studio. The result, Blizzard of Oz, a triumphant solo debut powered by Randy Rhoads' guitar wizardry. Ozzy was reborn, not as a relic, but as a force shaping the next era of metal. Emerging from the shadows of Black Sabbath, Ozzy's solo career soared to unimaginable heights. He wasn't just a singer anymore. He was a phenomenon. The airwaves exploded with hits like Crazy Train, a track that became an anthem for a generation hungry for something raw and rebellious. The song's iconic guitar riff and Ozzy's unmistakable vocals cemented its place in rock history. But it wasn't just the music, his wild antics, the kind that made headlines and sparked controversy, became legendary. The infamous incident of biting the head off a bat, a moment forever etched in rock and roll infamy, blurred the line between legend and reality, creating a mystique that both captivated and horrified the world. Was it a calculated stunt or simply the act of a madman? The debate continues to this day. Tragedy struck with devastating force when Randy Rhoads, Ozzy's incredibly talented guitarist, died in a plane crash. The loss of Rhoads was a crushing blow, devastating Ozzy and leaving a void that seemed impossible to fill. The grief compounded his existing demons, fueling his already intense struggles with addiction. The road ahead looked bleak, yet despite the personal turmoil and the immense loss, he kept touring, kept recording, driven by an inner fire that refused to be extinguished. Against all odds, against the expectations of many, Ozzy kept surviving, kept pushing forward, proving his resilience time and time again. And through it all, Sharon's guidance was crucial, a steady hand in the midst of the storm. She was the iron will behind the madness, the strategic mind that helped navigate the chaos and build an empire. Ozzy's persona as the ultimate madman only grew, solidifying his image as the Prince of Darkness. But so did his influence on the world of rock and metal, inspiring countless musicians and shaping the sound of generations to come. Albums like Diary of a Madman, a dark and complex masterpiece, and the ferocious Bark at the Moon with its iconic werewolf imagery cemented his status as a metal icon, a true legend whose music would echo through the ages. Through grief, through chaos, through personal struggles that would have broken many others, Ozzy always found his way back to the stage, proving that even a madman can find redemption in the roar of the crowd. As the calendar turned towards the 90s and then the 2000s, Ozzy's journey took on new dimensions. The raw energy of his early years evolved, transforming into something even more profound. Ozzy became a cultural institution, a name synonymous with rock and roll rebellion, transcending mere musical fame. His image was everywhere, his struggles and triumphs playing out in public, every high and low magnified by the relentless glare of the media spotlight. Nothing was private. Ozzfest launched a new generation of metal bands, providing a platform for countless artists and solidifying his legacy as a champion of the genre. And then came the Osbournes, a reality TV phenomenon that revealed his chaotic, loving family life to the world, forever changing the landscape of celebrity. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a long overdue recognition of his monumental contribution to music. He reunited with Black Sabbath for a final album and tour, a poignant farewell to the band that started it all, giving fans one last chance to witness their magic. Health crises forced him off stage, a stark reminder of his mortality, yet he faced each challenge with unwavering resolve. But his spirit remains unbroken, a testament to his indomitable will and refusal to be defined by limitations. Ozzy continues to record, pouring his heart and soul into new music, always pushing creative boundaries. His later albums reflective and poignant, showcasing a depth of emotion and vulnerability rarely seen in his earlier work. He's no longer the wild man of the stage, the unpredictable madman, but the godfather of metal, his influence everywhere, shaping generations of musicians and leaving an indelible mark on the world of rock. Ozzy endures because he's more than a singer. He's a cultural icon, a symbol of rebellion and true original. He's a symbol of resilience and survival, a living testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity. The Prince of Darkness, scarred, smiling and immortal, a paradox of darkness and light, forever etched in our collective memory, screamed his way into legend, leaving behind a legacy that will continue to inspire and entertain for generations to come.